33 combat clashes took place on August 17 between the Ukrainian Defense Forces and the Russian invaders. Source: General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine on Facebook. Quote, "Over the past day, the Russians launched 4 missile attacks and 53 airstrikes, and fired 40 times from MLRSs at the positions of our troops and settlements. Unfortunately, Russian terrorist attacks have resulted in civilian casualties and injuries. Residential buildings and other civilian infrastructure facilities have been destroyed. The possibility of missile and air strikes across Ukraine remains high. Over the past day, 33 combat clashes took place." Details: the situation on the Volyn and Polissya fronts remained unchanged. On the Syvershchina and Slobozhenskaya fronts, the Russians fired using mortars and artillery on more than 20 settlements, including Volynsk and Mykolaiv in Chernihiv Oblast, Pokrovka, Novodmytrivka and Ryazan in Sumy Oblast, and Okremivka, Malovovcha, Budarki, and Stroyka in Kharkiv Oblast. On the Kupiansk front, the occupiers conducted unsuccessful offensives in the area of Sinkivka, Kharkiv Oblast. They carried out airstrikes in the areas of Petropavlivka and Kucherivka in Kharkiv Oblast. The settlements that were subjected to artillery and mortar attacks were Dvorikna, Kupiansk, Kucherivka, Kurilivka and Krokmaln in Kharkiv Oblast and Nadia in Luhansk Oblast. On the Lyman front, the Russians conducted unsuccessful offensives in the area of Bilohorivka, Luhansk Oblast. They carried out air strikes near Bilohorivka in Luhansk Oblast and Terny, Yampol and Siversk in Donetsk Oblast. About 20 settlements came under artillery fire, including Nevsk, Dybrova and Bilohorivka in Luhansk Oblast, and Spern, Zarivka, Fedorivka, and Rozdalivka in Donetsk Oblast. On the Bakhmut front, the occupiers conducted unsuccessful offensives in the areas of Bodanivka and Bila Ora, Donetsk Oblast. They carried out airstrikes near Vasyukivka in Donetsk Oblast. More than 20 settlements came under artillery shelling, including Ivanivsk, Chasiv Yar, Predtekine, Pivnik, Zalizn and Druzhba in Donetsk Oblast. On the Avdiivka front, the Russian forces conducted unsuccessful offensive actions in the area of the settlement of Karamik in Donetsk Oblast. They carried out air strikes in the areas of Novokalinov and Avdiivka, Donetsk Oblast. More than 10 settlements came under artillery fire, including Novobakhmutivka, Okaratyne, Berdikai, Stepov, Novoselivka Persha and Pervomaysk in Donetsk Oblast. On the Mariinka front, Ukrainian Defense Forces continue to hold back the Russian offensive in the areas of Mariinka and Krasnohorivka in Donetsk Oblast. The invaders conducted an air strike in the area of Krasnohorivka in Donetsk Oblast. More than 10 settlements came under artillery fire, including Krasnohorivka, Mariinka, Pobieda, Novomykhailivka, Koshchetinivka and Antonivka in Donetsk Oblast. On the Shakhtarsk front, the Russians made unsuccessful attempts to regain lost ground near Urazhane in Donetsk Oblast and Novodorivka in Zaporizhia Oblast. More than 10 settlements came under artillery fire, including Vodian, Bohivlenka, Volodar, Prikostivka, Velika Novosilka and Urazhane in Donetsk Oblast. On the Zaporizhia front, the occupiers launched an airstrike near Robotyne in Zaporizhia Oblast. More than 25 settlements came under artillery shelling, including Novodorivka, Levan, Malinovka, Chervon, Yuliapol and Zaliznik in Zaporizhia Oblast. On the Kherson front, more than 15 settlements came under Russian artillery fire, including Antonivka, Zelenivka, Kamyshiny, Dniprovsk, Kherson, Velitinsk and Tamina Baka in Kherson Oblast, and Kutsurov and Ochakov in Mykolaiv Oblast. At the same time, the Ukrainian Defense Forces continue to conduct offensive operations on the Melitopol and Berdyansk fronts, consolidating their positions and conducting counter-battery operations. Over the past day, Ukrainian Defense Forces aircraft carried out 7 strikes on areas where the occupiers' personnel, weapons, and military equipment were concentrated, and 2 strikes on anti-aircraft missile systems. Our defenders also destroyed 2 Ka-52 attack helicopters and 4 tactical reconnaissance UAVs. Over the past day, rocket forces and artillery units destroyed 4 artillery systems at their firing positions, 2 ammunition depots, and an electronic warfare station. Ukrainian forces could fail to retake strategic city of Melitopol. U.S. officials. Ukrainian forces do not appear likely to reach and retake the Russian-occupied strategic southeastern city of Melitopol during their counteroffensive aimed at winning back territory from Moscow's army, a U.S. official said on Friday. The Ukrainian military on Thursday said it had made gains on the southeastern front, pushing forward from a newly liberated village, Uruzgan, in an attempted drive towards the sea of Azov. Melitopol, which had a pre-war population of about 150,000, has been under Russian control since March 2022 and has roads and railways used by Russian troops to transport supplies to areas they occupy. Uruzgan in Donetsk region was the first village the Kiev government said it had retaken since July 27, signaling the challenge it faces in advancing through heavily mined Russian defensive lines without powerful air support. The U.S. official, speaking on the condition of anonymity, was citing an intelligence report on Melitopol, but the prediction is largely in line with Washington's view that the counteroffensive is going slower than expected. The official added that despite the report and limited progress towards Melitopol, Washington believed it was still possible to change the gloomy outlook. The assessment on Melitopol was first reported by the Washington Post. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Friday declined to comment, but said there had been a number of analyses about the war in Ukraine since Russia invaded in February 2022, and many of them had changed as it unfolded. Russia controls nearly a fifth of Ukraine, including the peninsula of Crimea, most of Luhansk region and large tracts of the regions of Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. From February 24, 2022 to August 18, 2023, Ukraine's Defense Forces of Ukraine eliminated 256,510 Russian invaders, including 460 in the past day alone. That's according to the General Staff of Ukraine's Armed Forces, Ukrinform reports.